What the heck is happening in Formula 1 right now? I mean, we were expecting some big changes, but not this chaos. For those of you who don't know or have already forgotten, Ferrari's Mattia Binotto recently resigned and will no longer be team principal for the Team Ferrari. There's been a lot of speculation on who might be his successor, and we've already made a couple of videos on the topic, and we even turned out to be right. We predicted that Vasseur would substitute him, and on December 13th, news came out that announced what we were already thinking of. So buckle up everyone, because this is going to be a fun one. In this video, we're going to go over all the things that changed in this team principal silly season. And make sure to stick until the end, because things are going to get crazy real fast. So let's put the events in order just to get a clear view of things, and we'll do that by explaining what each situation means for us. First of all, Binotto resigns from Ferrari. No big surprise really, since he's been with one foot out the door since 2021, and the 2022 season was the drop that spilled the vase. After tens of bad strategy calls, inconsistencies, and uncompetitiveness, some bosses higher up finally noticed all the chaos he made in Formula 1, and decided to have him resign and get substituted. Then, Joss Capito from Williams decided to completely retire from Formula 1, after he was convinced to do so by Williams acquirers. I mean, this doesn't really have anything to do with the rest of the events on this list, but it happened, so it's fair to include it. This is a really hard hit for the team, who was getting a bit better season after season, since their financial situation isn't really that good, and since they were forced to sell and go from a family-owned team to being managed by a big company. The last thing they needed was for their team principal to temporarily retire from the sport and leave them to struggle. Maybe a new and improved management team will enter the sport and completely crush the competition, bringing Williams back on top, but that is honestly unlikely. And even if that happened, it would take the management team at least a couple of seasons to get up to speed and understand how to do their job correctly. So I wouldn't expect Williams to be anywhere as performing in the 2023 season. Who knows what could happen after the next year though? But then, out of the blue, Vasseur announced that he was parting ways with Alfa Romeo, and that he would not be a team principal for the Swiss team in 2023. And, exactly 2 minutes after the first article about that came out, Ferrari hired him to replace Binotto and hopefully bring the red team to victory next season. They probably coordinated themselves. There's no way that two pieces of news could come out at pretty much the exact same time. So, on the topic of being right, was Ferrari right to choose Vasseur over Binotto? We don't really know yet, since he hasn't done anything yet for the team. He's been team principal for less than a week now, but from what we can tell, absolutely. It was time to change team principal, because if you notice you have a problem in your team, you stop complaining about it and start to actually do something to fix it. He went against what his own drivers said multiple times, threw away a lot of wins, and possibly the whole championship. And keeping him would just be waiting for Ferrari to declare bankrupt for the team to finally achieve their inner peace. If you're thinking that Binotto wasn't at fault in many cases, like during bad strategy calls or unreliability problems, then I'm sorry to say this, but you're just straight up wrong. He's the boss. He has to get the responsibility a position like that one implies. If the team wins, everyone in the team wins together, but if the team fails, it's the team principal's fault. And in many cases, this has worked out to teams solving their own internal problems and achieving greatness, like Red Bull from 2019 to 2020, or Mercedes from 2010 to 2014. Blaming the weather, the tyres, or the other drivers actually trying to race for problems that Ferrari creates itself is plain stupid. And that wouldn't have brought Ferrari anywhere near the first place of the Drivers' Championship. Good job, Ferrari. Let's see if this works out. But wait, there's more. Vasseur was announced team principal for Ferrari. Then we saw months of work unfold. Alfa Romeo made it public that Andreas Seidl will become Sauber's new CEO. Pay attention here, not team principal, but CEO. If you're asking yourself who he is, he was the team principal for McLaren, but in the past, he has also worked for Sauber before. He feels really happy about this move, stating that it is great to join the Sauber group from January. This is a team with a rich history in Formula 1 and an organisation I know really well from my time working and living in Hinwil for 4 years. A new CEO was in fact needed by the Swiss team, since Vasseur is making that a vacant spot. We'll see him for the first time in January as head of the team. But wait, if he's CEO, then who's the team principal? Well, Sauber forgot to announce who its new team principal would be. What a shame. Some incredible names that could take that highly regarded seat, as team principal seat, not as a driver's seat, could be Reen Rosin. He currently works in F2 and F3 with Prima Racing, and has a highly impressive record on his shoulders. He could comfortably lead a team in Formula 1 if he was given the chance to, and in my opinion, there would be nothing that could stop him from taking that place. Someone else who could get that role could be Capito. Yes, Williams' last team principal, the one who was convinced to exit Formula 1 by some investors. He could get back into the sport and show us all who he really is, managing a team with high expectations as it will be rebranded Audi in 2026. Getting back on track, McLaren, which felt excluded from all this management drama, announced that Andrea Stella would be taking the position of team boss in 2023. He is really experienced and familiar with McLaren's style of management, as he's been with the team since 2015. And as a bonus coincidence, he worked at Ferrari during the Raikkonen and Alonso era, just like Binotto did. Will he end up like Binotto, fired and with no team to go to? Well, we sure hope not. McLaren hasn't really been competitive recently, in part due to Ricciardo being really bad with the car, and in part due to Alpine's progress over the years. But now that Alpine has a new, possibly worse driver lineup, and now that McLaren has the young talent Oscar Piastri, will they be able to get back on top of the grid? Who knows? This is a new start for the Orange team, since it's been years since they had this kind of change in the inside management as well as their drivers. So there's a chance that we could see them on the podium more often next season. Of course, having another competitor for wins and championships is pretty much always something positive. But we shouldn't really expect that from a team like McLaren. Maybe the bonus that they'll get, since they ended up the Constructors' Championship 4th instead of 3rd like in the last years, could mean that using the longer wind tunnel time they could catch up to their competitors and fix all the mistakes they've done this season while designing their car. McLaren's CEO Zak Brown also said that the team will be changing its approach to races in 2023, and maybe that will grant us with some more fighting at the top of the grid instead of pure domination Verstappen got us all used to. So, that it all came together quite rapidly, and here we are with Andrea now as our team principal, which myself, our drivers, our team are extremely excited about. Andrea obviously has a wealth of experience, not only with McLaren, but a rich history with Ferrari. So, he is someone that we knew, who knew the team inside out. He is a very hands-on person in the racing team, which was of high interest to me and the shareholders. So we're very excited, and that's how we came about to where we are today. Apart from all this great news for McLaren's fans, we forgot something really important. Who is the new team principal for Williams? Well, we honestly don't know, and if we told you somebody's name, it would probably be pure speculation or just a wild guess. Man, I thought silly season was over, but it's just started in the world of team managing. Let us know with a comment below what you think of this situation, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Bye for now.